Okay, we do that. Do that. Start. Oh, there we are. Woohoo! You gotta love it. Okay. I am going to bring in, are you ready? Are you ready? Okay.
Sorry, I had to turn my volume down. It's like, oh no, it's echoing. Hey everyone.
Is it echoing?
It was on my end because my volume on my phone was on, so I turned it down.
Gotcha.
So
hello, Grams. How are you? So I am so excited. I got it finished.
I can't wait to see it.
Got it finished. Now I have to say, the canvas, and I'm going to be completely honest with this. When I got the canvas and I looked at the colors on it, I was like, oh, it's not very vibrant. And as many people know, I like color. Like, there's my tigers. That's how far I've gotten on my tigers. I've got my animals down here.
You got your critters.
I have my wild bird over there.
Oh wow.
That's from Stacy Deal.
Oh wow.
So I like colors. And the canvas wasn't really colorful. But I have learned from past experience. Hello, diamonds around the world. Hey, Nancy. I was going to say hi, Nancy, but hi, Nancy. I have learned that sometimes the canvases are not as vibrant until they're finished. I had one. Which one was it? It was a DAC. And for the life of me, I cannot think of what it was. But I got it, and I'm like, this isn't what I ordered. And all my other canvases were colorful when I hadn't even started them. And everyone was like, it's okay. Just do it. It will turn out fine. It will turn out fine. And it did. But I have to say, from a person who wasn't expecting a canvas to be more on the less contrast, dull side, it was heartbreaking when I had so much joy and I went, what? No. That's not what it's supposed to look like. So now I have done shots and I have shown on other ones where I'd done the bottom of the canvas and the top of the canvas wasn't done, but it had the same style as the bottom to show the difference of it. Hey, Mary, how you doing? So out of the 2 packages of colors that come with this kit, this is all the colors that are left.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Now, mind you, one of them had me a little, oh my God, am I going to have enough?
I get that a lot.
And I'm like, it's okay. It's okay. I'm in a last little section. It's mostly white. And I'm not going to count how many squares I have because I'm just going to stress myself out. And I was fine. I was fine. Now, the other part of that is because they are resin, the darker colors will have more trash drill in them.
Mm-hmm.
The blacks were fine. The 310s were fine. It was more of the chocolate brown that I was like,
yeah. Let me guess. Was it 3371?
could very well have been.
Because that one I find in some color palettes, that 3371, 310, 939. And there's one other color that's kind of a dark chocolate brown.
Yeah.
That has a lot of trash. And the only thing I can come up with that, because it doesn't matter who you get your kits from, you're going to find it.
Yeah.
But I'm finding that these darker colors, because they're so mass produced, that in some cases, we get like the bottom of the barrel type scoops, I guess you can say. And I mean, it can happen with any color, to be honest, but those are the majors that seem to have that particular issue. And it's kind of a hit and miss, because I always look at my 310s, because that's usually the color you're going to find it in. But I'm finding it 3371 is just as bad. And it depends. But the nice thing is that the manufacturer or manufacturers, most of them, know this as a fact. So they always try to put much more in to cover that garbage.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what I found. So, it was like 3781, 3857 were ones that I was like, and I expect the darker the colors, you're going to have it.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So that's okay.
Well, mutt nuts, and I hope I said that correctly.
Yes, mutt nuts.
Also said too, and she's right, is that your darker colors seem to have the most static in them as well. And I wish I could find a solution to the static. I know a lot of our kits have static in it. I'm not sure how that happens and how to eliminate it. But I have been speaking to my manufacturer about it, and they're looking into seeing if they can kind of quiet down the static.
Yeah.
I was telling Lizzie the other day, or when we were at the retreat, that I find that in some kits, there's very little static. And in some kits, it's like you just want to.
Oh, they jump out at you.
Yes. And
they literally jump out at you.
Again, I have I have kits from all different companies, and I find that with acrylic drills, the static isn't as bad. Like, you very seldom have a bag of static. But with the resin drills, there's something about resin that is like, okay, everybody wants resin. It's beautiful. They're vibrant in color. They're just gorgeous. But there's always a handout, or not a handout, but a handoff.
Yeah.
So, I've had a lot of people ask me how I feel about the difference between the two types of drills. And the one thing I can say out of my experience is that acrylic is a harder material. So you're not going to have like the amount of garbage. You're going to get those little teeny like pea type garbage, which is basically the back, a little what do they call that? That little dimple that they normally have on the back. That's what that is. It's just part of that, but it doesn't affect, it doesn't affect the drill. But here's the thing. The handoff for acrylic, it's a stronger material. It doesn't break, and it doesn't have that, like I said, the amount of garbage that resins have.
Yeah.
But the handoff with acrylic, they're not vibrant in color. They're not as shiny or sparkly as what we're looking for as far as a drill is concerned. So when you're looking at diamond painting companies and you don't know, is it a resin or is it acrylic? The way you can tell, it's not technically the back, because some resins do have dimples to them. Not all of them, but you may find 1 or 2 or 10 in a bag of drills that have a slight little dimple to them. So you can't really tell by the dimple, but what you can tell is how flat the backs are and how vibrant the color is, because you're not going to get that in an acrylic. But you have to bear in mind that with resin, you're going to end up with more garbage. That's the handoff.
Oh,
so
interesting.
The handoff, like I said, garbage or dull.
Vibrant. I'll take the vibrant.
I'll take the vibrant. I mean, to me, as long as I have enough drills to accommodate the painting, I'm okay with it. Like, you should see some of the paintings I've done in the past that I have a little trash collector, and that thing had been full and dumped out twice, but I still had enough drills to accommodate the painting. Yes, exactly.
No, that's not from the canvas I just did. That is a collection from many canvases. Let me just clarify that. Muttnut says static guard spray on a Q-tip works for me. Yeah. I actually use dryer sheets, and I cut them up into little squares, and I put them in each of my containers. The other one is some people put them in the freezer.
Yes, I heard that. I haven't tried the freezer theory, but I'm going to.
The freezer one does work. It just takes a longer time. You can't just stick them in and pull them out. The other one is to take your bag and just
breathe in it,
blow into it, and then shake it around.
The dryer sheet works really well for me, but I do like if I'm in a tight spot and I really just want to go quick, and I don't want to bother with the dryer sheet, I just blow in it.
Oh, you do? You blow, do you?
I give it. I'm not going to say it online.
Sorry,
but I blow in there a couple of times. Look at the bag, see if they're still hanging on the side, and then just keep doing that. Be careful though, because I have done that and have sucked drills up in my mouth. So if you're going to do that theory, do it gently, because if you blow too hard, it just goes in your mouth and you're like,
what you're saying is go, don't go.
I haven't tried the static guard, although I've heard it works. But I've tried a variety of different other things that I've heard over the years. And
the other one is alcohol.
I've tried that. It kind of works. Sort of. But I mean, if they're really staticky, like super staticky, I would go with the spray, put it on a Q-tip and just rub it in there. But
the other thing is, what I have found is, if I have a bag and I've got like a big dryer sheet with me, if I actually just take the bag, wrap the dryer sheet around it, and rub the dryer sheet up and down, it will stop some of the static. So I don't even have to cut it. I just put it around the bag.
I haven't tried that. I'll have to try that.
So because I'll have a dryer sheet. I'm sure I have one here somewhere. Oh yeah.
Whatever you do, if you do use the static guard, don't spray it in your bag.
No, don't
Please
spray it in
don't,
your bag.
because you'll be waiting hours for it to dry. So
Yeah. So I'll just take the bag, I'll take my dryer sheet, and I'll just,
yeah, and it helps settle them down.
yep. So that's what I usually do. Now, the other thing I've heard, and it probably can have something to do with it, is the temperature. I do
Yes.
find that there are seasons that are more staticky than others, even if I've bought them beforehand. Mary says, I heard someone say today that there's less static when the drills are wrapped really tight in the bag within the kit.
Mm-hmm.
They get more static when you take them out of that tight wrapped bag.
Oh, that may answer some of those because I know that our bags are like our kit, our drills, sorry, bags of drills are wrapped tightly.
Yeah.
But I never thought about that. Maybe putting them in the freezer before you kit up, give them a couple of hours before you unravel the bag. That might help. I don't know.
Static. And it's funny because there are some, it's a hit or miss with the drills. Mm-hmm. Like some of the colors are fine. And then there's one where I'll cut it and I go to open it and it goes, poof. I'm like, okay, I just got baby powder all over my face, but it was drills instead.
I thought about that. I really thought about putting baby powder in the bags, but then I thought, do I really want to do that? It sounds good. It sounds good. But then you think, oh my God, the cleanup would be horrendous. And I'm like, no, it's not worth it. It's just
yeah. No.
I wish we could make some like little, like almost like a putty or a wax where they can stick it in the bag, and keep it from getting staticky. But I don't know if that can even work.
You know what? My first thought is they're going to get stuck to the pad.
But not necessarily. But it would have to be like a dryer sheet type pad.
Yeah, if you could do that,
yeah,
and have them put it, because your bags all come in the little zip bags.
Yeah,
they're not production lined.
No.
So if they could, because they have to open the bag anyways. When they open the bag, drop a little piece of dryer sheet in, unscented, because some people don't like scents. Yep. And they can't handle scents. I totally get that. And then pour the drills in.
Yeah, I mean, something simple but yet effective.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I mean, remember,
just don't tell them that they have to blow in my bags, okay?
Remember the days when we got diamond paintings with the little pillow bags? And those were always staticky. It didn't matter what you did with them. Yeah. And you'd be squeezing them out and they're popping all over the place. Oh yeah, those were some really nasty drills.
Yeah.
But then again, I didn't like the pillow form. But I mean, back in the day, when diamond painting wasn't even really super
You mean when diamond paintings didn't come with instructions?
Yes. We're talking like 2015. You had no instructions. You had no idea what you were doing. Here you go. Here's your painting. Go for it. And good luck. And I'm telling you, I don't know if anyone has ever seen my first video that I've ever put up on my channel, but this was a long, long time ago. And I would talked about my first painting. Like when I first saw it, I don't know how many of you seen diamond paintings and how you were introduced to them. But I was introduced to diamond painting on Facebook because that's when they started putting a lot of ads in 2000, the end of 2014 and 15. And I was like, oh my God, look at this gorgeous piece of work, right? And the place that you would order was AliExpress.
Yeah.
I don't think Amazon at the time had them yet, but then again, I wasn't really looking at Amazon. But
I wouldn't know because I didn't know them then.
Yeah, so I ordered, like I'm thinking to myself, this is so pretty, and I found an image that I really, 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 really liked. but it wasn't just a normal diamond painting. It had to be a 5-panel one. You know, the 2 tiny ones, the mid-sized one, and the big one. And I ordered that in squares. I didn't know. I had no clue the difference between round and squares. Like, I just ordered it because it was pretty, right?
Yep.
Don't order something if it's pretty. Really look into it. But anyway,
all the things we used to do when we didn't know.
But I purchased this kit or kits, and I waited 8 long weeks for it to arrive. No instructions, no nothing. And I'm sitting there going, oh my God. And plus 2, of course, remember the double-sided adhesive?
Oh, yeah.
I thought, well, I'll go with the small one first. So I pulled it out, and it was in, it had the foam thing. And I tried to unroll that. That painting was so tight. It was like a slinky. You pulled it out and bam, it hit you right in the face. I mean, it was super stiff, and you're just like, what the hell? So
how am I supposed to lay this flat?
Yeah, and I mean, I never thought about, looking into YouTube, and I don't even know if anyone had a channel at that time for diamond painting. Sorry, this piece of hair is driving me insane, and I can't find it. There it is. So
I could just see you going like this and going,
yeah, like I tried to, the small one, and I thought, okay, you little SOB, you're not going to do this to me. So what did I do? I laid it as flat as I could. I was on my hands and knees. I kid you not. I laid it out as flat as I could, and then I laid on top of it.
Yep.
And I said, there. Now, we're going to sit here for 20 minutes as I try to figure out what the rest of the stuff was. Right? You're sitting there just like, okay. So I'm not kidding you. I pulled out the toolkit, which was the little green boat. Oh. And I thought, wow, this is tiny. The pink pin with the tip on it. And I'm like, okay.
What's this?
What's this? And then the little chunk of wax. Now, I didn't know what the little chunk of wax was for, so I tossed it. Oh, I had no idea. I'm like, well, what is this?
Right, because there's no instructions.
Right. So I'm sitting there trying to figure out. Now, of course, the drills are in the little pillows, right? And I poured a little bit in, and I figured that out. You pour the drills in the little boat.
Yep.
Now I'm looking at the pin thinking, well, the drill tip is going to go inside this little copper thingy.
Did you lick it?
No. So I'm sitting there going, trying to figure out, well, how do you get the diamond to, like stay in there, right?
Yeah.
And of course, I didn't tell you the best part. Guess what color I picked out to try out first?
Black.
310. So anyway, I'm trying to. So I thought, okay, I pulled back the little piece of paper, and I thought, you little SOB, you're going to stay on this damn pin. So I picked up the drill, had the pin sticking up like this, with the tip of on there, and I go, okay, 1, 2, 3, and of course, nothing happened, right? And I thought, okay, that's it. I'm done. Put the cover sheet back on, picked up the painting and the rest of the paintings, and I put it in my laundry basket, and I was going to throw it away because I thought, I'm sorry, I don't have patience for that, right? So like 2 weeks passed, and it was on Facebook again, but this time an ad came up for a diamond painting, and I was like, what's that? And they were actually showing you dip the pin into the wax. I'm like, oh, that's what that's for.
Where's my garbage? Did we throw it out yet?
Well, I grabbed it. Thank God it was still in the laundry basket. I grabbed it and I started working on it. And I thought, wow, this is My husband told me I was nuts. He says, that's like crazy. Why would you do that? And like, I looked at him, I said, you know, I don't care what you think. It's what I think. I really love it. And that's what started me diamond painting. And I got through that five panel paintings. I think I got it done in 6 weeks.
Do you have a
And
hanging up?
do I? No, I don't.
Do you still have it?
No, I don't. Because I didn't like the way it turned out. It was very pixelated. but that was the start for me was
Yeah.
okay, this if you know what you're doing, if you have instructions, it's fun, right? And that's the whole point of diamond painting is to relax and enjoy it, not stress out and go, oh my God, what the hell did I do to myself? I still have that saying come out of my mouth once in a while, depending on the size of the kid I'm working on.
So here's a funny story for you. So you know the pens, right?
Oh yeah.
I got my girlfriend into diamond painting, and her 13-year-old was standing there looking like, how do you get the drill stuck on it? You didn't see the wax.
Yeah.
You didn't see the wax. And she's like, well, you put air in it. And then once the air runs out, you have to refill it. And of course, as she's doing it, it's starting to get unsticky because she's using the pink wax, right? She's like, would you like to refill it for me? And he's like, well, how do you do it? Well, you just blow into it. So she goes like this, and he blew into it.
Oh no.
To refill the pen. And she's sitting there killing herself laughing. And he's like, that's not how you do it, is it? She's like, nope. She pulled out the wax. Okay.
Well, you know, I do want to say hi to everyone. I don't know if I did that. I'm so sorry if I didn't. But you know, listening or reading what everyone's saying, and it's you often go back to, oh my God, what did I do with my first kit? Like I said, my first kit or kits was very pixelated. So no, I didn't keep them, but it started me out on something. But there was something here. Oh, Maritza.
Hello, Margarita.
Maritza says that she had a 3-placer and she had no idea what to do with it. Believe me, when I saw my first 3-placer, I was, what is this, a shovel? I mean, what are you supposed to do with this thing?
It's true, right?
Yeah, my husband's like, what are they coming out with these days? I mean, look at this little tiny thing. And it was I think it was a 3-placer. It was a 3 or a 2-placer or something like that. But I started learning on the multi-placing with Dax. I think it was a 2-placer, or maybe it's a 3-placer. I don't remember. But I'm like you with squares. I use tweezers. I don't use a pen. And with a round, yes, I do use a pen. But with squares, I use a tweezer, and I can multi-place with tweezers. I'm more comfortable with using tweezers. But I will say this, I'm going to be honest. A good friend of mine, she's always telling me, Janae, what are you doing? You're cheating. Like, I'm not cheating. Yes, you have to place one drill at a time. And I remember looking at her and saying, I don't have time for one at a time. But I will say this. I do place a lot checkerboarding.
Oh, I love checkerboarding.
And once I get to a certain point in the checkerboard or a certain point in the section that I'm working on, then I will fill in with a pen. But that's the only time I usually go in there is when I can't get my tweezers in that section.
Yeah.
And with squares, because they're so tightly next to each other, you don't want to put your tweezers in between
No.
those lines because
You'll move the
you
other
move
one.
things. Yeah, it's like, no, this
Yeah.
isn't fun. So, but yeah, I'm a lot like you when it comes to placing my drills. I like to use my tweezers, but I don't know. Do you use blunt tweezers or do you use the sharp, stabby tweezers?
I'll stab you anytime.
No, I use blunt ones. I don't use the stabby ones.
Although I did get this one with the
Oh, yeah.
diamond painting shop,
Okay.
and I actually like the curved ones, like these ones, because I can actually see the drill being placed and I don't have to tilt my head.
I can't tell you. Geez, sorry. Piece of hair.
So as you're doing that, I'm going to turn my other camera on.
Okay.
So we can
Take a look. Let's look at it. I can't tell you how many times I have stabbed myself with those pointy tweezers where I have to sit there and put pressure on my fingers so that way it's not like I'm not bleeding everywhere. Heaven forbid I almost hit my foot with it once. I can't wait to see this. Oh my gosh.
So I'm going to start at the bottom. Now, when I started this, like I said, the canvas wasn't as bright. It was dull.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, no. However,
sorry, I'm laughing at Mutt Nuts.
What is Mutt Nut saying? Me and tweezers are only friends when I have to take a drill off the canvas. Well,
that's hilarious.
I could say other things there, Mutt Nuts.
Oh no.
But I won't. I'll be good this time. I am trying to find, here it is. So
oh.
This is what the canvas looked like. It's dull. And yes, Dipper is in the picture.
Look at her. She's using it as a cape.
Oh, I know. Like, she just... I was trying to take a picture. And she's like, oh, I want to go underneath, Mom. Oh, no.
Look at that.
I'm like, what are you doing? I need to take a picture of this. Hurry up and play.
She's such a character, that one.
So it was dull. However, you can see the toenails on this paw. The colors are amazing.
Oh, wow. Look at the detail on those paws.
Look at the flowers.
Yeah. Wow. Now you've done it. I really want to start this one.
And the trees.
Yeah.
And you got snowflakes.
Wow, that turned out so pretty.
Like, look at the whiskers.
And you know what really blows me away on this particular kit is the number of drills.
Yes.
Because I didn't think that 79 colors are in that kit?
76.
76. I'm still like flabbergasted on how many colors are in there.
Well, yeah, because I saw the picture and I'm like, okay, it doesn't have that many colors in it. And then I'm like, it has how many colors in it?
Wow.
And just the shimmer.
So
I sent you a video yesterday and I was outside. That was in my backyard. And the shimmer that you see here is the shimmer I had on the outside. and the flowers.
Wow.
I was completely stoked. And then you get into this part here. And at first I was like, why is there brown in the mane?
Mm-hmm. I think that's more for definition.
Yeah. And then like the eye actually has reindeer. It has unicorn poop
Mm-hmm.
and it has
AB.
ABs in there.
Okay. So they put them together.
And I'm just like even the nose, it gives you that definition of the nostril.
Mm-hmm.
I was just, so it's interesting because I'm going to lift this back up a bit. Because when I was working on this, and I don't know about you guys, I have a tendency to start in one section and then I work my way through either this way or this way. I pick a way and I go. But then as I started doing it, I was like, I got up to about here. And I'm like, I want to see, when I see this lion, I imagine him coming out of the darkness.
Mm-hmm.
What is the first thing I see? So I actually started going around and doing all the dark sides.
Oh, interesting.
To give me that illusion, I couldn't see the line because I would see the border.
Right.
And then I did the snow. And then I went back in and I started over here to fill in. And then it was the lion.
Mm-hmm. But the really thing that really catches my eye is all of the definition, all of the details. His mane, like you said, the whiskers, the nose, the eyes, the brow.
You can see
Yeah, his brow. It all flows nicely together.
It does. Yeah. Like even when you get down into here, you can see the muscle definition.
Yes.
And I'm like, he actually has piggy toes. It's not just black.
Well, even the other paw, you can see the nails.
Yeah.
Not as defined as the one, but you can see them. And even on the back legs, you can see the nails.
Yep. Right. And then you can see its tail as I knock everything off my desk.
Yes.
And I love the colors. I love the flow to it. You can see the rocks with the little snow caps.
Yeah. The shading between the legs and the back.
Yeah.
That is really good. It blends really nicely in together.
Yeah. So,
see, for me, it's really fun to look at them completed because then you can actually see how they put it all as one. Like you were pointing out, the trees, everything is so defined in the way that they've had rendered it. Even the snowflakes, when you pull the camera away, the snowflakes look really nice. They don't look overpowering, like they're not taking over the entire canvas.
No. They're just subtle and they just add that little accent. And like you can actually see the details of the snowflake.
Yes.
Right. And then when you get down in here, like at first I was doing this because I do little sections. I'm like, what the heck is coming out of his butt? And I'm like, oh, it's a tree. It's a tree. I'm like,
oh no.
Because that's where my brain goes. Because I
Yes.
said, I don't know about you guys, but when I'm working on a piece, I like to watch it emerge.
Yes.
Right. And if I'm working on this little piece here, I don't see, and the canvas is lighter,
Right.
then I don't see what I'm working on. It's only when until I
Exactly.
step back, go, oh.
Now, do you work with release papers, or you do you cut your sections out?
It depends. I do both.
Okay.
I always have release papers in case I really don't like cutting a section if I'm
Right.
not finishing it.
Right. Well, the
Um,
reason why I ask is because I find that if I use release papers, which I don't mind using, I can see the progress better than I'm not being distracted by the canvas
you mean like
itself.
this?
Yes. Yes, exactly. Like that.
See where I have it's just paper,
Yeah.
and then I'm like, but now I can't see what section I'm working on.
Yeah. But the whole purpose, I think, for me with the release papers or the parchment paper is to block that section so that you're not being distracted by it.
Yeah.
And you keep when you're let's say you're done with a section and you stand back and you're like, oh wow, look at it's actually coming to life.
Yeah.
Whereas if you see it without the release papers, sometimes you get distracted by it because it's like, well, look how much I've got to do instead of, wow, look what I've got done.
Yeah. Grams just dumped a tray full of 738 on the floor.
Oh no. Oh no.
No.
That's
And Christopher's in the house. Hello, Christopher.
I have dropped many. Many. I can't tell you, like I have a type of floor down here in the basement because that's where my crafting stuff is.
Yeah.
And it's like it's not a carpet, but it's kind of one of those patio type carpets.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Plastic. And I can't tell you how many times I've dropped drills. And I'm afraid that once I lift this up, because I'm going to have to replace it, it's old and it's fraying, that I'm probably going to have enough drills on the floor to complete a small diamond painting.
Oh yeah, you will. My son came in the other day and he's like, oh, here's a drill, Mom. Oh, here's another one.
Yeah.
Okay, if I just sit on the floor, I'm sure I can find them all.
Okay. How many people, I'm really interested to find out how many people have gone all over their house, sat down, and found diamond drills on your feet.
Oh, yeah.
Because I find them everywhere in my house.
Oh, yeah. My son actually came up to me last week and go, Mom, I thought this was a stone I was stepping on. It's your drill. I was rubbing my foot to try and get rid of it.
Yes. You have to literally dig it out of your skin.
Yeah.
It's like, really? My husband's like, okay, can we do something about the, the dragging of the drills in the house? Because like I said, I'm down in the basement and the drills are upstairs in our living room carpet.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I'm bringing them up. I just don't know how I'm bringing them up. So.
Today, while I was working on this one, I ruffled my hair and a drill fell out.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
I'm like, where'd that one come from?
Uh-oh.
Oh, my God. Kiss my crafts. I found drills stuck to my butt cheeks. Don't be naked. So I'm not even sure how it happens.
And it had an AB what? Drill.
I went to the beach last year and looked down. I had an AB stuck to my drill. Linda says my slippers are full. Yep.
That's hilarious. I told DP naked, so well, I sometimes will DP our diamond paint in shorts. I don't know. Maybe it was on your chair and it just kind of found its way up. I don't know.
It can. The other way is if it's on your clothes and you do laundry.
Yeah, that's true.
It stays in the clothes.
No.
because I thought I had a bump on my leg underneath my pants, and I went to the washroom, and it was a drill. I'm like, what the frig?
Well, I mean, it could be worse. It could be something else that's stuck.
Yeah, exactly. So you were talking about release papers versus clear covers. Now, I can understand how people could get distracted or realize how much is still left.
Yep.
Now, this one, I don't know if I can do this because this is huge. What I normally do is, because it's so large, is I will go, okay, well, here's part of a tree, so I'm going to do this little section. So I can complete that section. And that's actually what I did with the faces. I try and go, okay, well, where are all the colors going to match? And I have to change.
Right.
So I will try and section off. So for this next section, I will probably, because there's a bird up here.
Yes.
So I will probably go to the top of his wing, get this section finished. So then in my next section, I can do the bird.
Now, I have to ask, is that a square?
Of course.
Is okay, because the square version is the updated version. That's the only reason why I asked.
Yeah. And then if I don't get it finished, I will put a release paper over top to push it down. Because sometimes I find, and I don't know if it's just me, but sometimes I find that if I lift this and then I squish it down, it can get harder to pull back up.
Yes.
So
I've noticed
that's one thing I will do. Now, what I was talking to some other people where I don't know if you've heard it yet, and I know you're really good with hearing feedback. So, like I said, sometimes I will pull it up, especially on the line one. I was having a hard time pulling up certain sections.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Well, no, we've already discussed it with our manufacturer. Yes, that.
Okay.
What they have told us is that if you have a kit like that, it's not going to hurt the adhesive.
Okay.
But they have found that some of the protective sheets that were on some of our kits was not, it was how do you know how sometimes you put something the opposite direction and it's a little bit harder to pull off because it's grabbing, that's what happened. Now, not all of the kits were like that, but they are aware of it. And so I've gotten a lot of feedback from a few people saying that they had problems pulling up their protective sheets. Look, oh my God, look at that.
Look at this beauty. So
there's the parrot up there. You know, I have that done in rounds with our first manufacturer. And look at the detail. I mean, if I could compare the two, the details are so much better in this one. So much better. Yeah, you can see the nails. Look at that. Wow.
Look at that.
The little guys are so cute. The rocks.
And then you got a tiger down here.
Yeah, you got him in the rocks.
Like, so I'm halfway. So yeah, so I will try and do like one tiger so I can get the tiger done. And then I'll do like the face, and then I'll do the body. And see, I think there's another tiger down here.
Yeah, there should be 4 rocks with tiger heads on them, I believe.
And then this is the other part I absolutely love. There's a tiger in the bush.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then there's another bird down
There's
here.
right there. Yeah.
So, and that's what I've been trying to do is I because I like confetti, I
Mhm.
don't get carried away with, oh my God, I have so much more to go.
Mm.
Because it's not color blocking. I'm not.
Exactly. Exactly. Like I said, I wish I could show you a comparison between our current manufacturer and our original manufacturer, because that is amazing how it was hand charted. Whereas the original one that I have, that I did, the hidden images in the tree, in the
Yeah.
on the ground, on the trunk of the tree, up above, over on that one side, those aren't there in the original kit
Yeah.
because they couldn't get them in. But then, like I said, I mean, at that point, I didn't know that they were not hand charting my kits,
Yeah.
even though I was paying for it.
Yeah.
So it's seeing this makes it even like I get so angry. It's like,
Oh, and
why?
I don't blame you because that's not what you were paying for. That's not what you were expecting,
No.
right? I mean, even when you get down to here, you
Yeah.
can see the red flower.
Yeah. But like
I'm
I
just like,
said, I mean, it's just totally different than the original one.
so yeah, I'm using this one for Asian themed all year DP alone.
Mhm. Okay.
Because it's got the tigers in it. I'm like,
Yes.
good, because it's a long canvas. I can use this. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got some of it done here.
Yeah,
And
I can see that.
I like trying to do different things, right? So you can see, if I can do this, it's the drill field is clear. I like the white
Yes.
on the dark on the light. I like that there's no guidelines.
Mm-hmm. Or the
But you can,
grid,
yeah,
the old grid system.
right?
That never seemed to fit.
Yes. And I'm
That's,
anal, so I'm like,
oh, I am too. I'm always trying to. And that's another thing, because you had asked me about, some of the things that we're going to be doing upcoming pretty soon.
mhm.
One of the things that we are planning on doing is we're going to go exclusive squares. Not because we don't like their rounds. It has nothing to do with the quality of their rounds. It has a lot to do with the fact that a lot of people prefer squares.
Yeah.
And I find that, well, first of all, to hand chart a square and to produce a square, it's more expensive. But we find that when we did the rounds, and we have a few kits that are rounds from the new manufacturer, they just weren't selling. And, for us, it's like, well, our squares sell a lot better than our rounds. So we decided that we're going to go strictly square. On occasion, we may go to rounds if we feel that it's needed.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had a couple of people ask us, why did you go to rounds? And the thing is that there are people out there that prefer rounds over squares.
Yep.
And I like rounds, but I prefer squares. My sister likes rounds, but she prefers squares. It's more of a trying to balance it out. But I found with our current manufacturer, again, nothing bad about them. I really enjoy working with them. But even with them, they still have a slight, I wouldn't say it's unless you really, really look, there are some that are slightly, you could see that slightly round in its different colors.
Mhm.
Not the whole thing, but in some colors, they're like that. And it's like, ooh. Every time
Yeah.
I see it, I'm like, ooh. And my sister's like, why are you cringing? I'm like, I told them not to do this. And she goes, well, it's not the whole entire thing. It must be the type of program that they use after they get everything done. I don't know. The other manufacturer that we had, our original manufacturer, they just used the square grid because it was much easier and there was no difference between the background color and where the round is. But a lot of these manufacturers don't realize that I would say 85% of diamond painters don't like those circles at
No,
all.
no.
And then I started paying a little bit more attention to other stores. And there are some stores that have, like ours, where some show a slight circle and some don't. Like you could be in the middle of working on your project and you see, oh, this one doesn't have a circle, but the color next to it does. It's a slightly different color. Yeah, it's different. And I'm not sure how that works with them.
Yeah.
We're hoping to figure that out. But right now we're just thinking, okay, we do better with squares than we do with rounds. And so it's cheaper for us to go rounds, but I think at this point we're going to stick with squares.
Yeah. Is there any thought of scaling it so you can either do a round or a square, so they wouldn't necessarily be the same size?
Not at this time, because here's the thing. Like I said, you have to, in order to hand chart it, you have to hand chart it either square or round. It's not universal.
Oh.
So if I were to, like, for instance, Love Imbued, which is the fairy
yes,
that goes with Heart on Sleeve, we decided to do that in rounds so that those that like rounds have one to go to.
Mm-hmm.
We thought it was a really good idea. But unfortunately, it didn't sell as well because, again, it was a lot of people had said me or asked me why I decided to do rounds with that one. It should have been a square. And I'm like, well, again,
you're trying to help everybody. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to go ahead and hand chart Love Imbued in squares. So that we have that in squares. But it's a lot of money to hand chart in both styles. Yeah. So we, like I said, we may find an image that we think, oh wow, that would look better in rounds than squares, and we would do it in rounds. But we're going to have a lot of opinions on, does this work or does this work?
Yeah, so there's thought behind it.
Yeah. So especially with the size of the kits in some of these cases, like I can't imagine doing was it an evening of romance in rounds? That's that big gigantic like. But then again, the Christmas Village by Rose Prophet was rounds and it turned out perfect.
Yeah.
So I think it's all it just depends. And like I said, I like a lot of people giving me some feedback on what do you think this is, or how do you feel this should be? Because that just helps get out a better product. I mean, we're always looking for improving what we can improve.
Yeah.
And, moving that forward. So, but we think that at this point, we're just going to stick with the squares because we do so much better with them.
Yeah. That doesn't mean that the next release will not have rounds. So the next release, she's not even telling me, guys. Like, what the hell?
The next release is actually shipped and it's on its way. I don't know how my manufacturer was able to do this, but we are shipping kits to the United States. and we're not paying, keeping my fingers crossed. She said that what we're doing is door to door, so everything is paid for, including the tariffs. Because I told her, I said, "Whoa, wait a minute here."
Yeah.
When I added up how much the tariffs were going to be, and so she said, "No, it everything's covered, including the tariffs." I'm like, "Okay." But we're looking probably sometime the end of May, first 2 weeks of June. So it's kind of hard.
So that's not that far away then.
No, it's
Like,
kind
I'm
of
looking at my calendar.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to really determine when they're actually going to arrive, because we're doing the slow boat route instead of paying a fortune to have them
airlifted
expressed out here. But we also have 10 new releases behind it that are in production.
Wait. Okay, so let me get this right. Unlike the previous release where it was all done and then the new ones were being sent to hand rendering, then to be printed, which is now being shipped to us, you have other ones already being
in production. Yeah, our hand charter. I love my hand charter. He's an amazing guy. Like, literally, he's super nice. And I don't know how much he like understands my sense of humor, but he kind of chuckles here and there. But yeah, so what happened was I had given them the 10 new release or 10 images just after or just before they went on February break.
Okay. Yep.
And then when they came back, he had already started working on them. And then I went ahead and gave them 10 new images to do. So when and plus 2, we had to order for, I'm sorry, this hair is driving me insane. It's like it sticks right here and I can't see anything. It sucks having naturally curly hair. I'm sorry. Anyway, so they ended up getting the first 10 done really quickly, and then he started working on the 10 behind it. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, that's pretty fast, because it usually takes them about 10 days to do one image.
Yeah.
So I got a message from a manufacturer saying, "Hey, we're ready. Your new releases are all printed up. They're all ready to go, blah, blah, blah." We discussed back and forth what we were going to do as far as shipping to the United States, or are we going to avoid it? And then our hand charter pipes in and says, "Oh, and by the way, can you check these out for me?" So
that is awesome.
So when we were discussing that, they had sent me the files for all the next 10. So ultimately, we have to go through the files to make sure that all the pixels are.
Get on it.
Oh, we've already done that. It's in production now. So we're assuming, now I'm going to say this, we're assuming that these kits will arrive sometime in August.
Okay.
Or around August. Now, the new releases that are on their way, I can tell you the artist, but I'm not going to tell you
Okay, tell us the artist. At least give us a hint.
We have 2 new artists in this group. So Stacy Deal being one. There's 2 images from Stacy Deal. We have 2 images from Elaine Seitz. Now, some of you may recognize the name. So if you have ever shopped on Treasure Studio Art, Elaine Seitz was with them for quite a while. So we signed with her, or she signed with us, I should say. And we have 2 of her images right now that are going to be in this new release.
Yes.
If you don't know Elaine Seitz, she is a watercolorist, and all of her images are tropical. So they would be like tropical landscapes. Some of them are like
flowers.
flowers, birds. Yeah, it's really pretty. So there are two of hers coming in. And then Stacy Deal, she is with Rose Profit Creations, and we have a couple of her images. Actually, we got quite a few of her images. It's just two of them in the release.
Do you have any for Crazy Birds?
I saw that one.
Do you have any Crazy Birds?
Yep. So there's 4. Then we have one from Mikey Bergman. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but if Mikey Bergman's style is a lot like Josephine Wall, but
yeah,
it is and it isn't. Yeah. But it's kind of like that. One Robert Fennell, which would be a landscape. It's beautiful. So there's 6. So that means there's 4 more. Oh, I've got another new artist, which is called Mom Art.
Yes.
One of hers is coming out. We've got one coming out from Whimsical Wonders.
Nice.
That one is going to be really nice. And this leaves me with 2 more. Oh, how can I forget? Oh my God. Romance art. 2 of them.
Oh, yes.
Now, I will explain this. I'm not going to tell you which ones, though. The image that Rhonda was showing you is called Winter King Storybook Lionheart.
Trueheart.
Or Trueheart, sorry. That is one of many in that series. One of many. So
I didn't realize there were so many within the series.
There's a lot. There's a lot. So if you have seen any of Romance Art's the Winter King Storybook, you will see all of the different images that she has created for that particular line of art. And
she's looking at making it actually into a storybook.
Yes. So,
I'm like, I want the storybook.
I'm really excited because I have been talking to Romance Art. She's a very nice lady. Love her to death. Think she's just amazing. And we were talking, and I told her, I said I would really like to have exclusiveness to the Winter King Storybook.
Yeah.
She said, well, Dreamers Design has one, and then there's 2 other stores that have one. So there's 3 of the lion, lion head.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, well, she says, but I have more if you'd like to look. So I looked at all of them, and yeah, there's going to be in that series. We have
like the Snow Leopard is the one that got me hooked initially. Yeah. The one that you showed on the Facebook page. Yeah. I'm like, I need it.
So there's the 3 that I have, which you did, the lion or the leopard head, and the unicorn.
Unicorn.
There's a unicorn in the series. And we have 10 more.
Yeah, see, I agree with Maritza. You're a tease.
I'm just going to tell you, these are the artists to look for. I'm not going to tell you which ones they are, though. But what I'm really excited about is the
diagrams, unicorns. You just said it. And how appropriate for a company that has unicorn poop and unicorn ice to have a unicorn.
Oh, yeah. We have unicorn poop, unicorn ice, and unicorn kisses.
Kisses?
Mm-hmm. Unicorn kiss are glow in the darks.
Ooh.
Unicorn ice is your crystals. And then the industrials is the poop. Now, I don't know how many more unicorn names I can come up with, so I'm hoping
there's
my
many.
manufacturer doesn't throw me another ringer, because they don't tell me. Like, they don't tell me that they're putting these extra drills in. So when we're going through the kits, we're like, what is this? We actually have to really look at what it is. Oh, okay, that's what or I have to send her a message. Can you tell me what XL means? And she'll tell me. So, but she likes to do that. She'll throw these extra drills in and not, I guess, think twice about it, because we don't really ask for them. We do with the dust drills, because we really love the dust drills. Dust drills are amazing.
No.
Oh, by the way,
unicorn poop.
Yeah, unicorn. Not this new release, but the next release, the new release. We're bringing back 2 images. 2 images for Halloween.
You're bringing back 2 images from where?
Halloween. Yes. So, The Witch's Hour and An Autumn Night are coming back.
Nice.
But again, limited numbers, because once they're gone, we're not going to put them back into production. Because, I mean, the Christmas images are one thing, because you kind of can work on them from November to February. But the Halloween ones are a little bit more, I don't know. They're just not I would assume they're not as popular like in December. I don't know.
You'd be surprised.
So,
right? Christopher says failure dust.
Failure dust. Oh, I'm going to make me say it. Be the ones in Deb's. So, do you want to see the one kit that I've been working on?
Of course.
Okay. So, I was in I was going to say competition. It wasn't a competition. It was an event. I think you were on it too, or in it. The Magical Dream event.
Yep. Nope, that's not what I want.
And so I haven't finished my project, because it was so big that, there's no way in hell. But
Chris is not a fan of the dust drills at all. Grahams is, how to bend the budget without creating a catastrophe. I agree with you, and I've been telling my husband that I don't need a Mother's Day gift right now, but you can buy some of the stuff for me. Oh, wow. Off to the ball.
So this is off to the ball. I can't get the whole thing in. Sorry. Trying. But this one here has glow in the darks.
Really?
Yeah. And let me see if I can raise my arms high enough where you can see the bottom. But I still have a quarter of it to go. But
you've done an amazing job on it, though.
See that big star there in the center, or that's a glow in the dark.
Oh, that is so cool.
In the dark. But this is a fun painting to work on. It looks like it's confetti heavy, but it's really not that bad.
Oh, interesting. Maritza says Viv did a really amazing job on hers. Did she show it to you, Deb?
I haven't. Sorry, hold on. Whoops. I haven't seen Viv's yet. No. We just got back on Monday and from the retreat, because we went to the retreat in Michigan.
Mingle in the Mitten.
Yeah. And that was our first retreat. We had a great time. I got sick though, and we kind of have an idea of what happened, but
we're not going to go there.
My sister's like, oh, do you want me to take you to the emergency room? And I looked at him like, oh, I don't think I want to go bankrupt. And she just kind of looked at me and goes, would you like to leave? I have no insurance in the States.
No.
And I was like, no, I can't afford that.
No, exactly.
But
Marie says she can't wait to work on her painting.
Oh,
She has the same one.
Oh, the off to the ball.
Yeah.
I have to say, when I first started working in that dark section, I was like, okay, I'm really getting bored. But once I moved into the castle and started working on her,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, and I was just moving along. In fact, the event that we had started in March, and I told Viv, I said, if we're going to do this again, I said, but not in March, not February, not March, and not April, because our year end for the store is March.
Yeah.
And then we have to get everything prepared and ready for tax season. And I didn't actually start that kit until I think the 3rd week of March is when I started it. And that's how far I got before.
That's incredible. Yeah.
Yeah. So, my little fingers were smoking. Trying to catch up. And I'm like, I'm never going to get this done. And then when I went to the retreat, I took Emerald Owl.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
And I started that. And Lissy's like, Janae, oh my God, your sections are so huge. I'm used to doing it that way. That's just me.
Yeah. Whatever works for you, you just go for it. But, Mary says she got to meet you at the Mingle of the Mittens.
I did, Mary. I was so excited. I recognized her right off. I'm like, I know her.
So Mary worked on the Witch's Hour, and she blinged it up.
Yes. Oh, you should have seen the kit she was working on at the retreat. Like every time you walked by, you were like, ah! It was so bright and sparkly. And I mean, the enhancements that she was doing is just beautiful. But it's like, even my sister's like, oh my God. I can't imagine the sun hitting it and having all of that, sparkle hitting you in the face. But it was beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah.
And
she showed me the Witch's Hours. I was just like, oh.
Yeah, I have it actually hanging up in front of me. I really enjoyed it, but for some reason, I don't know. I know that I wasn't the only one that got sick, that there were a few other people that had different symptoms that I did. But when I found out, or when I came home and I was telling my husband, I said, I really don't know what happened, other than the only way I can get away from the pain was to take a leave.
Oh.
So he's like, well, do you have any food allergies? No. Do you have anything else? Like any type of, did you get bit by a mosquito or I'm like, no. And then I said, the only thing that was weird was he asked me if it smelled musky. And I said, yeah, but everything in the woods smelled musky. Like the cabins were cabins. And then I said, but when the water smelled overpowering of sulfur.
Oh.
And it was just so overwhelming. And anytime you took a shower, drank the water, and he looked at me and goes, that's what it was.
The water.
He said, you had some kind of reaction to the sulfur, because everything else, I have no allergies to anything that I'm aware of, other than bee stings. I do get swollen from that. But it was like my whole, the best way I can describe it was like my throat felt like it was being crushed.
Oh.
But I could swallow and I could breathe. It wasn't swelling, but it just felt like somebody was grabbing me and just, crushing this part of my throat. And my sister's like, well, maybe it's strep throat. And I said, Tammy, if it was strep throat, I would be able to spit fire out of my mouth. This is not strep throat. This is not a cold or, anything that's related to. I said, something is causing like either my tonsils or my thyroid or somewhere in this general area to feel
your
like
glands.
Yeah. So it was kind of a strange feeling. I've never had that happen before. And I told her, I said, no, you're not taking me to the emergency room. The Aleve seemed to help. So the next morning,
Well, that's good. At least you found something.
Yeah, it helped.
Yeah, Mary says it was well water.
Yeah, it was really strong. And
she said, I grew up on that, but it didn't smell. Some areas are worse than others. Yeah.
Well, when we grew up in Washington, it was well water. And I didn't smell that, but I'll tell you what, the water was super, super cold. But I don't know. It was really weird. Other than that, I mean, we had a great time. Like, we had a super time there. I got to meet a lot of people. Mindy was teasing me. She says, boy, you're just a little social butterfly.
Oh, never.
And I'm thinking to myself, honestly, I'm not like that. But I had fun with everyone. I was like, okay, this is great. But the odd thing is that it seemed like it took forever to drive from the airport to this place. I mean, it's only a 2.5 hour drive, but it seemed like it was more like a 6 hour drive.
Did it feel that long going back?
Yes.
Oh, really?
It did. It was like, this is not 2.5 hours. And it was a good thing that we left early on Sunday, because we were taking my friend Ginny to the airport, so she was the first one to fly out. So I had to stick around. Me and my sister had to stick around the airport, and I'm telling you, Detroit Airport, somebody needs to talk to whoever decided to create that airport, that they need to add washrooms upstairs for those of us that have to wait for the ticket booth to open up. Like,
welcome to my world the last 2 years.
When I went up there and I had to wait and wait and wait, and I finally was like, I have to go potty. I am not dragging all this luggage around. And so I went up to this front desk, on Delta side, and I'm like, is there a washroom around here? Oh, yeah. You need to go to the elevator, go down 2 floors. I'm like, what? He just kind of went, I have to go down 2 floors? Yeah, you have to go in the luggage area or the baggage area. I'm like, that's ludicrous.
And that's where the water fountain is too. And there's nothing on that side at all on any of those floors that have food.
Well, and here's the way I see it. It's like, listen, your airport is 3, possibly 4 times bigger than our airport here in Winnipeg. And we have washrooms upstairs and downstairs.
Well, aren't you special?
So, like, what the hell? And the guy that was there was a volunteer there, and he was really nice, because, I was doing the potty dance. I had to go. And he's like, I went up to him, I said, excuse me. And he goes, are you okay? And I said, I really have to go to the washroom, but I don't want it to drag He's, no, I'll stand there and watch your luggage. I'm like, okay. And I sprinted to the elevator. I barely made it there, got done, came back upstairs. I started talking to him, and I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry, blah, blah, blah. Well, our flight left, and then unfortunately, there was no direct flight to Winnipeg, so I had to fly from Detroit to Calgary, which is past Winnipeg. And I just sit there. Oh, this is funny. I don't know if there's any hockey people in here, but we were waiting for the plane. I had to wait 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
and I was right in front of the bar. And of course, you can see all the TV, and the Jets game was on, and everybody was like glued to the TV. And I'm like, we're going to be boarding here in about 10 minutes, guys. And of course, they went into overtime twice.
Oh,
So when
yeah.
they went into the second overtime, that's when we had to start boarding,
And
right?
people are like, no, I need to know what happens.
You literally had to like pull these people. Oh, you got to board the plane. We're gonna go without you, right?
They're gonna leave without you, yeah.
So as people were coming in, I could hear their phones because it obviously had the game on there. And I would say most of the people were on the plane, and all of a sudden there was like, yes, and this screaming going on, right? Obviously, they got the score that they needed. And I thought, oh, that was really cool. Well, the captain comes on and, welcomes everybody on the plane. And then he says, oh, and by the way, Winnipeg Jets won. Like you think. And they went ahead and gave everybody a glass of wine.
Oh, nice.
Nice, right? Most airlines won't do that, but whatever. So anyway, I was so exhausted, so tired that I literally fell asleep flying from Calgary to Winnipeg. And I don't sleep without my CPAP. I have to have CPAP. So I'm sitting there, like literally sitting up. I didn't have my chair back. And the only reason why I didn't actually fall asleep is because as soon as I got to that threshold, I couldn't breathe. It woke me up. So here's my glass of wine that's still sitting in front of me, and I'm thinking, oh, I don't want to really drink it because, unfortunately, it's just going to make me more groggy. So finally, the steward comes up to me and she says, I'm going to have to change that to a plastic cup. And I'm like, oh, she says, we're descending. I'm like, okay. I had no idea we were that close. So I obviously dozed off a couple of times. And so she gives me a plastic cup. This cup was full. Like, I'm not drinking this before we land. There's no.
Chug it.
No. So anyway, I put it down. I had a couple of sips. I put it down. And then I thought to myself, you know what? I'm just going to tell her, here, just throw it away. I'm sorry. I can't. I went to go reach for it, and I knocked it off the thing that I was sitting on, and it went crashing on the floor. It's like, oh, crap. So I was like, and the person sitting next to me, it spilt on her. So she was trying to get it off her shoes because it was red wine. So I'm apologizing to her. She says, oh, no, it's okay. It's okay. So I thought, okay, what else can go on? What else can go wrong on this?
Well, things come in threes. So
yeah. So the steward from WestJet comes by and she says, gives us towels and stuff to clean off her shoe. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. She says, it's dark blue carpet. You can't see it. I'm like, it doesn't matter, right? So then we landed. And like I said, all I can think, this was like 1:30 in the morning now.
Yeah.
I want to go to bed. That's all I can think of. I want to go to bed. I don't want to, And so my husband's waiting. No, what he did is he decided to hide behind something to try to scare me. Now, this is normal for him. So, like, I was so tired, I didn't care. Like, I was like, whatever, right? So anyway, we get over, get all my stuff, get home. I immediately went to bed, crashed, and I knew I had to work the next morning, but I was working from home, so I didn't have to get up early. So at 9:30 in the morning, the phone rings, and he didn't answer it. And somebody left a message, and so I got up. I heard it, and he says, sat down, had my coffee, and he knows, don't talk to me unless I have 1 cup of coffee in me. Just don't. Anyway, so I had my cup of coffee and I went to go get another cup, and he goes, "Did you leave something on the plane?" Like, well, the way I was yesterday, probably. I said, "Why?" He goes, "Well, that phone call that woke you up." I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "I don't know who it was. They didn't say." He says, "But you left something on the plane." He goes, "Where's your passport?"
No.
Yeah, left the passport in the plane. I don't remember taking it out. But somehow it was in the front pocket where I
You
was
probably
sitting.
used it to get on the plane.
Yeah,
And because you were so tired, you just
I
probably
didn't put
put
it
it.
away.
Yeah.
So they called back, and it was the RCMP. He goes, "Yeah, did you forget something on the plane?" Like, "Yeah, my
Apparently.
passport." And I said, "Where are you look?" He says, "Your passport's in Calgary, so we'll have to mail it to you." Okay, fine. I wasn't worried. But all I can think of is,
You should have told him to give it to me, and then I could take it down to Lizzie, and Lizzie could.
no. I have to actually figure out how to send a box to her so that she can send me we got some really nice kits from that retreat. I mean, really nice kits. We weren't expecting them. And we
Nice.
ended up with 2 really nice big kits
Good.
on top of the kit that we got from the retreat itself. So it was really, I'm sitting there thinking, there's no way I'm going to be able to take this on a plane. Like, I have no luggage space. And so Lizzie's like, "Okay, I'll take him home, and then I'll mail him to you." So I said, "Well, I'll get a box to you." So then what did I do? I bought a kit that somebody was destashing. And she's like, "Where are you gonna put that?" I was like, "Well, you're taking it home." "You need that?" No, you're taking it. You said you were
No,
taking it.
you said you could take the other one home, so
So I got
what's the difference?
I didn't have this particular artist from DAC. Something Lorenzo, I think is the
Richard
last.
Lorenz?
Yes. Yes, I got one and she had it. It's never been opened, nothing. And I'm like, "Yeah," and it's a square. And I'm like, "Yeah, I'll take it."
Which one?
I don't remember. It's a bird, I think. So it's
Yes, his are all birds.
okay. It's a bird that's going. That's all I remember. She had a
You think it's
yeah,
Gladys?
it could be. I'd have to look it up.
Yeah.
I
Linda
can't
says Lizzie
remember.
showed them on her channel. Very
Oh,
nice.
so yeah, the ones that we got from the retreat, she showed on the channel. They're really nice, but I can't remember the name. All I could say are when I saw it was, I have to have this in my stash. I don't know why, but I have to have it.
His
So,
are wonderful.
but yeah, I'm trying to figure out what size box that I need to put in or send to her, but I have to put stuffing in the box so that she can use the
Can't
box.
she just put brown? Can't she just take the 2 kits,
There's
put brown
4.
paper, tape the brown paper, and then put more paper on it with your address?
I don't know if I trust that. That might they won't save any. It won't really save you much money because the kits are the ones that are heavy, not the box. But she could do that. She would have to wrap because there's 4 kits. So she would have to do that twice, and I'd end up paying more than what it's. No, I'd rather just send the
Doesn't
box.
she have boxes where she works that she could just repurpose?
I don't know. Never asked. Never asked. But I thought, well, I'll just stuff some garbage in that box
Yeah.
just to give it some substance.
Yeah,
And
no,
just tell
exactly.
her, you know what, here you go, because see, we can make returned labels on our platform. So
Yes.
I'm just going to
Yeah.
guesstimate the weight,
Yeah.
uh, but on the higher side, and then just ship it out and say, here
Well, you
you
could just
go.
have her weigh the kits together,
Yeah.
and then you have your box.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's
How exciting.
I'm looking forward to that one because, like I said, I have admired his art from afar.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
I thought, well, you know, you got that for sale, and I was really good. I kept from buying. I mean, like literally, my sister and my friend were spending like you wouldn't believe. I'm like, you guys need to slow down on the bills there.
But you're
Um,
on a retreat.
yeah, well, they had release papers there for a pretty good price.
Mm-hmm.
And there was you can buy some, there was some diamond, like I said, there were people out there destashing, and there was some people that had jewelry for sale.
Oh.
There was somebody that was selling, I did buy that, so it's called unit.
Crafty. Mary says she has all of Richard Lorenz's,
Yeah, I saw that. I'm like,
and she's like, "LOL, I spent a lot too."
yeah, I bet she did. Um, where is it? There was a, oh, I can't find it right now. But I
You
got
came
this,
home with 11 kits. Wow.
and that doesn't include the kits that she bought when she was there. And my sister's like, "Oh my god, she bought some more." I'm like,
And ordered
I
a
was
ton
very much
more
aware of
online.
that. Where was this? Where is the stuff that I got?
But see, I do that too. So like when I'm going down to the Crafter's Paradise, I'm like, okay, who's going to be there? And then I pre-order and have it shipped there, so then I can bring it home with me.
Okay, so I did buy some of, where's the camera? Oh,
Oh snap!
snap dots. Now, when I first saw this, I thought, oh my god, that is our drill insurance. And then they're scented, and I think one of them, if I'm not mistaken, and I don't know where I have them. One of them's called unicorn poop.
Yes, it is. Yes.
And I was laughing because I'm like, oh, so I can tell people that I'm working on this canvas, and this canvas has unicorn poop dust draws, and I'm using unicorn poop snap dots.
Yep. Yep.
So I thought that was kind of cool.
That
But
is awesome.
yeah, we had a good time. Like I said, I mean, we had to rent a car, but it was fun. We had a good time.
As long
So
as you had fun, that's all that matters.
yeah.
So, did you have any issues coming back on or going through customs?
Surprisingly, no, I didn't. I was
Okay.
scared to death. I was like, please don't ask me to look at my phone, because I had heard that they, some customs were doing that. And I'm like, please don't ask me to use my art to look at my phone.
And you can't say no.
You can't, yeah, you have to give them, and you have to unlock it.
Yep.
So, but I didn't have that problem. The guy that I went to, he was really nice. What do you do? What's your purpose here? Where are you going? Blah, blah, blah. He didn't ask me for like an address or anything like that. He was just, curious about what I was doing, and that was it. Like, hey, when I was going through security, I thought this was funny. When I was going through security in Winnipeg, I had my diamond kit that I was taking. Thank God I did this. I took the toolkit out and I have it in my bag.
Oh, yeah.
And so my bag was already taken to the plane, but I still had the kit, and there was 5 bags of drills in the kit. So when they x-rayed it, they put it off to the side. Lady opens it up, and I'm like, be careful with that. You know, I didn't say that, but I was thinking, just be careful with that, right? And I'd forgotten that I had 5 bags of drills in there.
Yeah.
So when she opened them up, of course, they all fall out. And she's like, oh, this explains it. I'm like, what? Apparently, they couldn't figure out in the x-ray what it was. So,
well, yeah, because it'd be just a bunch of things, right?
Yeah, there's just a bunch of little things that they couldn't figure out what it was. I wanted to say, no, it's really not, you know, like,
don't joke
or anything. It's not like I'm snorting something. You know. So, but I thought that was the strangest thing. And then when I was going through security in Detroit, I asked him, I said, do you want me to take out my CPAP? Because every airport that I've gone to, you have to take it out. Do you want me to take out my laptop? Do you want me to take this? Oh, no, just put it in the bag or put it in the little plastic thing.
Yeah, the tray.
The bin, yeah. And I'm like, that's weird. And apparently they've come out with new x-ray machines where they can actually, I guess, zoom in or see something that you normally don't see. I don't know. It's really kind of strange. But
yeah, each airport is different.
Yeah.
I know in Atlanta, they have scanners that look like capsules. They look like capsules. And I'm like, oh. And everyone's looking at me. I'm like, that's kind of neat. Like, what is that?
Well, you know, and I always tell, when I go through the airports, I always tell them, I said, listen, it doesn't matter if I go through that machine or not.
Yeah.
That machine is going to go off. And I can tell you exactly what's going to set it off. And so one lady in Detroit, she goes, oh, really? She says, what do you think that? I said, one is my bra. And the other thing that's going to set it off are my implants. So she's like, oh, well, let's see. You know, I walked through it, put my arms up, did all the things. Sure enough, there was a spot up here, a spot over here, and then right in the front. And she goes, I never thought that you know, these scanners would pick up implants. I said, it depends on the type of implant it is. But
isn't that interesting?
It's showing up. And she goes, oh my God. She goes, you were right. You can go now. Although she still had to pat me. Thank God it was a her and not a him. But yeah, she still had to pat me.
Yeah, if it's a him, they get a girl to come out and do it.
Yeah.
I know, because it happened to me in Atlanta.
I just like, whatever, do what you have to do. I don't care. It's not like I got a rifle stuck in there somewhere or even a gun. Can you imagine putting a gun in your bra? How uncomfortable that would be. And
I can't even imagine putting my phone in my bra.
You know, all I'm thinking is that you got something heavy and clunky.
Yeah.
You should be able to see it right off. But then again, they could also be looking for little knives and things like that, which won't show up, but unless you pat down. But I always thought that. I'm like, what do you think? I got a shotgun in there somewhere? I mean, come on. But
well, you are from Winterpeg, so
I know, you never know. I start laughing because everybody tells me, oh, you know, Winnipeg is the most, well, yeah, the number one dangerous city to be in. I'm like, really? Seriously? It is? I know that. That's what I hear. But
according to whom?
Some YouTubers.
Okay.
I started laughing. I'm like, well, I've never come across any danger other than maybe being approached by somebody asking for, extra change or a cigarette. Other than that, I haven't seen anything super sketchy.
Yeah, no.
Although I don't go downtown very often, so.
But you're going to find that in whatever city you're in.
Well, I avoid the downtown area because it's not because of the people, it's because of like whoever designed the city needs some psychological help.
Well, whoever's designed the city may have designed the airport in Detroit.
Is that the truth? Because when you go downtown, it's like driving through a maze. Everything is driving through a maze. And the thing is that if you don't know how to get around it, you get confused, and it just people get really agitated with you, and you're just like, screw it. I don't want to be down here. But I work, about 40 minutes from here, and I just take the highway. Now, when, most cities have highways that go in the city.
Yeah.
Winnipeg doesn't have that. It's what they have is that they call it the perimeter, and it goes around the city. It does not go in the city. And if you were to drive the complete circle, it takes a full hour.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
okay, yeah, no, I can see that because Calgary it was very similar to that, where if we wanted to go from the southwest to the southeast or north to south, it was like, oh my God. So they finally put a ring road around, and we're like, yay! What used to take us an hour takes us like 20 minutes.
Yeah. unless somebody decides to bring out a John Deere sprayer and go down the perimeter at 25 kilometers an hour. And I'm sitting there going, what were you thinking? It's rush hour. Now, some people will probably go, that's not rush hour. To us Winnipeggers, that's rush hour. You do not drive a tractor, a sprayer, a combine. I've seen that happen before. And because these things can't go very fast, right?
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, you really wanted to piss us all off, didn't you?
Yep.
Now, I don't know if anyone knows how big a sprayer is. It's huge. This thing is big. Even with the little spidery arms sucked in, this thing is gigantic and it's huge. And it just, as you're driving by the person that's in the cab driving it, and you see him just like this.
Well, because he can't do anything else.
No, he's going as fast as he can with that thing without it, falling apart. Yep. And heaven forbid you don't want it to fall apart. But I'm sitting there going, really, in rush hour? Can't you pick a better time? Like, 5 o'clock in the morning would have been nice, or 10 o'clock in the morning would have been nice. But really?
Driving a John Deere.
Well, the funny thing is I work for Ag and Turf and Rec dealership here in Winnipeg, and I speak to John Deere all the time because that's what we sell.
So how is John doing?
They're doing okay. Now, it was funny. I got a phone call. This was a few years ago, and the guy called me from South Carolina. I loved listening to him because I love that accent, that kind of that long, twangy sound. Yeah. And he calls me up because that's what I do. Is I'm the inventory coordinator there, and we have 10 stores. And so he calls me up. He goes, "Listen, I really need to see if we can do a dealer transfer on," and then he tells me the unit, which is what we would consider a utility tractor. It's not it's not like as big as the big farming tractors, but it's not like the lawn and garden tractors either. It's like right in the middle.
In the middle.
And I was like, okay. I asked him, do you have the the last 6 numbers of the serial number, and I can look it up and see if we have it available. So, of course, I knew that it wasn't available because we couldn't order them in fast enough either. So, but I thought, well, I'll give them a little bit of hope.
You tease. So, see, you still are a tease.
Yeah. So I looked it up. I'm so sorry. I said this is in sold status, and I can't agree to a dealer transfer because, these customers come in here thinking that they're ordering a pizza. I about fell out of my chair.
Okay, so I can get delivery in about 20 minutes.
I was like, oh my God. I was trying not to have him hear me laughing, but I was laughing. He says, these units take 6 to 8 months to come in. I'm like, yes, I do know that. He says, but these people don't understand.
Yeah, they see the M and they automatically think it's minutes.
Yeah. I'm like, well, I'm really sorry. I said, but I don't have any of those available. He goes, that's okay. He says, I've got you. You were on the first of the list. Now I got to call it that. I was sitting there thinking to myself, oh, you poor man, you are never going to find one. Not one that's already on the ground. But see, a lot of these, like the tractors, it depends. Like the big tractors, they're all made in the States. The little are the what we call the cut tractors, which is like a step down from the real big ag ones. They come from Germany.
Oh.
Utility tractors, which is what he was looking for, comes from Germany.
Oh, wow.
They're assembled there. So they have to go on a boat. They come over to the different ports.
Can you just imagine how big that boat is?
Yeah, I've seen them.
Holy crap.
There's a place where my sister lives. She lives in Tacoma, Washington. And there's a big yard, it's like a big, huge yard. And you can always tell when a boat has come in because all you see is John Deere tractors lined up. And they haven't been put on trucks yet to leave the yard.
Oh, wow.
So it's like, yeah, it's just hilarious. Some of the things that.
So could you imagine, instead of having that one on the highway, be on the highway once they depart the shipyard?
Well, they'll be on a truck bed, so it wouldn't be like. I think they could get maybe 2 on a truck bed, those size. Yeah. But I don't know if you've ever seen a combine or a sprayer or any of those big stuff being hauled away. I wouldn't want to even pass one of those things.
No.
They're so huge, and you're just sitting there going, ooh. And the wheels have to be transported on a separate truck. I'm like, oh my God, you stack 2 of those wheels up and it's taller than me. Oh my, I always told my boss, I would love to watch, like just sit and watch, or actually be in some of that equipment just to kind of get an idea of what it's like. And the one thing I thought was really different or unique, and I don't think John Deere is the exclusive to it, but when they're harvesting, the combine will have what we call swather in front, and it's cutting up whatever you're harvesting. It goes into the trap. I don't. They call it something, but it goes in there and it does its thing. Or the pickup actually puts it in back. So then you have a truck that's following the combine. Now there's nobody driving this truck. There is nobody driving the truck that's following the combine.
How is it following?
It's all controlled by a satellite. So they have this technology where they put in and map out their farms, and then it goes up into this satellite, and that talks to the truck that's following along.
Really?
And it slows the truck down and it speeds the truck up when it needs to. Now that I thought, okay, that's bizarre. I have to see that happen. But the other thing that it also does too is when they're working with the swather in the front, if there's a dip, like if there's a big dip in the field, that that technology knows that it's there, and it'll lower the swather, and then it'll raise it up when it needs to.
Oh, is that?
You don't have to do anything.
That would make sense because it would be the GPS trackers.
Yeah. And this guy's telling me all I do is sit there and watch videos all day. I'm like, man, I wish I had your job.
Until something goes wrong.
I'm like, really? That's all you do? And he goes, well, you listen to music. He says, but you're out there for hours, like hours upon hours.
Yeah, Nuts knows this. She's like, oh, they're fun to drive. And then, yep.
I told Deer, I said, you have these big, gigantic combines. I said, are you ever going to build a sports model? The guy that I was talking to goes, I don't think so.
No. But could you imagine if they could use that technology to get all our drills ready for the rows that we were working on?
Yeah, that would be nice. The one thing I was really impressed. I didn't know
that's a farm girl.
I didn't know this. When with the Ukraine war, there was a whole bunch of farmers out there that had John Deere equipment. And so John Deere's like, well, we don't want, our equipment to be taken over. So all they did was take a switch and went click. And
really?
They all shut them down. That's
technology.
That's technology. And if you're connected to what they call JD Link, if you're connected to it, all they have to do is hit a switch and it turns everything off and nobody can turn it back on.
Okay, that's a little frightening.
There was apparently a lot of tractors out in fields that they couldn't move because they couldn't get them to move.
No.
So I thought, well, that was kind of cool, John Deere, to turn off the tractors.
That's thinking, man.
What happened after that, I don't know. But John Deere is all over. I mean, it's everywhere. So factories are like all the loaders for the tractors are assembled and built in Mexico. So you have some assembly done up here in Canada, and you've got the majority of the assembly in the States, but then you've got the European areas as well that assemble. So there's a lot of mechanics in putting those together. And believe me, I've seen the prices of some of these. I shouldn't say some, all of this equipment. Like, man, can you please, hand me a cool million? That would be nice. Like some of these places, these places that buy 8 to 10 combines every year, and you're like, what? And it's not just the combine; you have to have everything else with it.
Yeah.
So it's great. I mean, it adds up, and I was like, wow, really? 10?
But if you need it, then
these big firms need them. And it's like, wow, I didn't know they were that expensive.
Yeah.
They're pretty pricey.
Well, but That's like me telling my husband, I need these diamond paintings.
Yes, it's the same with me, He's like, in fact, my husband had to help me tonight because all of the pre-orders and restocks have arrived. And he's like, what the hell do they have in these boxes? Damn, this thing's heavy.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see, you got the canvas, you got toolkits, and you got drills. He goes, I didn't think these weighed that much.
It's the drills. The drills is where the weight is.
That's where your weight is. But yeah, I had six boxes that I got. My sister got 8. So just before coming on, that's what I was doing is I've got my piles. I got this over here, got this over here, got all this over here. I mean, it was just like, oh my God, I got to put all this stuff together. And then I was thinking, oh, I'm not going to have enough cover minders. So that means I have to get my gemstones out and start putting magnets on the cover minders. So, I mean, I think I have enough, sorta, maybe, but not enough for all of them. So I figured, well, I'll deal with that later. But I've got cards that I have for the retreat that you're going to Texas. And I told Kara that I would send them to her. Okay. But when is that retreat anyway?
The end of this month.
Okay, so I have plenty of time. Because I was like, oh my God.
You know today's the 7th, right? You know today's the 7th, right?
Yeah.
So 1, 2, in 3 weeks, I fly out.
Well, I'll have the cards ready to go. And mailed to her. I think she'll get them in. I'll have it mailed to her on Monday, so I believe she'll get them way before.
Yeah, she'll be fine.
And then I was like, okay, I'm going to need to do this for the Ohio retreat as well. And I guess I'm going to have to order some more batteries and take like these things, so I can put them on the back of the card.
Yep.
But yeah, I was like, oh, my husband's like, why are you doing that? I said, because I got to send this off to Texas. He goes, Texas? Yeah. I said, they're doing a retreat in Texas. And then Ohio, I don't know how many others are going this year. But yeah.
So you're going to be busy, and you are busy.
Well, I got to get commissions out too. So I have for the artists. This is our commission month, so I'm doing spreadsheets for them so that I can get them taken care of. Yeah, just a lot of work this weekend. And it never fails. It's always everything hits me at once, and then there's days where I'm like, oh, I got nothing to do. What shall I do today? Let's watch a movie. Let's diamond paint and watch a movie at the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
I do that a lot. And don't tell me what movie I'm watching or ask me what movie I'm watching because I don't know. I just listen to it.
As long as it's not a movie I have to actually pay attention to, like, okay, that person just did that. Oh, no. Oh, yeah.
Otherwise, you have to back up. You have to back up. And I usually will watch or listen when I'm diamond painting. We'll listen to the same movie I've listened to like 400 times. Because it's just white noise to me, right? Yeah. Whereas if I was really into a movie, like I decided I was going to diamond paint. There was this movie that I've been wanting to watch. It finally came on Netflix. And I was like, oh, good. I'm going to diamond paint and I'm going to watch this. No, that didn't work very well.
No.
So I finally just said, I'm going to take a break from the diamond painting and I'm going to watch this movie upstairs on the big screen so I can actually see it. Yeah. And I was like, oh, that was pretty good. So I came back downstairs and put it back on Netflix. Just looked to do that.
Well, yeah, that makes sense.
Because this time I didn't have to look.
No, yeah.
And I didn't need to anyway, because it was like, well, it's one of those spook movies. I like spook movies, but not the gory type of spook movies. I like the more of spiritual type,
Mm,
the ones that could be true, but maybe not. I don't
makes you
know.
think.
It makes you really think about it. But yeah,
Yeah.
there was one of those, and it's in a series, and it was the last one I haven't seen before, and I thought, oh, I gotta watch that. And
Nice.
it was really good.
Good.
It left the door open again for another one. It's like,
Of
okay,
course.
I like sequels, but sometimes sequels aren't as good as the
Yeah.
original.
Sometimes you just got to end them.
Well, and this one was actually, I think, was actually better than the second, because this was the fifth one,
Okay.
and I think it was better than the second one.
Oh,
So
good.
I don't know. It was just interesting to watch. So my husband's like, God, do we have to watch that again?
Yes.
Hey, you have your taste, I have mine.
Yeah, exactly. And I sit with you with yours so you can sit with me.
Exactly. So, yeah, we have not the same taste in everything.
Yeah.
But we're similar in a lot of ways. So
Yeah.
I
No,
think
exactly.
that's what helps us stick together.
Exactly.
I don't
Well,
know.
I'm going to sign off tonight, guys. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for joining us.
Well, thank
This
you
has
for
been
having
fun.
me.
And
Yes.
oh, I cannot wait for the new releases to come out.
Yeah. Just wait.
And I'm so excited that you have new ones already in production.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
We're trying to do things a little bit faster.
Yeah.
So it's hard to do that sometimes
Yeah.
because of the cost involved, but we're trying.
Yeah.
So
So now you need to pick the next 10
mm-hmm.
so you can get those ones.
Yep.
That will be awesome.
Yep.
Yeah. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone. Thank you for coming, and thank you for inviting me. It was great. I had a great time.
I'm starting to I think this is gonna be kind of my little thing, bring people on as I unbox them.
Yeah,
And
that's a
that
good
way
idea.
you can see it as well. And then when I finish it, I can hopefully bring an artist on. I do have a couple coming for Stacy, so I'm like, come on,
Ooh.
Stacy, you need to join me while I do open these ones. And yes, they are crazy birds.
Well, I'll have to show you as soon as I get my crazy bird. I'll show you which one it is. I just don't
Please
remember.
do. Yeah, I love
And,
them.
so
Okay.
anyway, thank you again for inviting me, and it was great. And it's great to see all of everyone. It was really nice to see everyone here. So
Bye, everybody.
bye.